Okay, hello first years. This is just a quick video on orthographic projection. So we'll start off and I'll go through a question with you today and I'll get you to do this question for me for next week. You might find this a small bit difficult, as you can see here, without the proper T-squares and equipment, but I'll show you ways we can work around it. So for orthographic projection, you have an object and you will be looking at the object in three different views. The name of the views are the front elevation, which is from A, the side elevation, which is from B, and the plan, which is from C, which is looking directly down on top of the object. So when you're standing here at A, this is what you see here on the vertical plane behind it. When you're standing at B, this is what you see here. And when you're standing at C, or looking above on top of the object, this is what you see here. Now, when we have these three drawings here, these are going to be interlinked, so they fold out to make a drawing like that. So our front elevation is here, our plan is here, and our side elevation is here, and the drawings are linked. So basically, when I mean linked, they're the same height, okay? So it's the exact same as that. So I'll go through how to set out the page. Now, without a T-square, what we have is, if you can see that, the height of the question we're going to do is, I'll show you here on the screen. We're going to do this question here. This is on page 52 in your books. So the height of this page, or this object, is 75 millimeters. So as you can see there, 75 millimeters. So what we're going to do in our page is, we're going to come down, just put it up there so you can see it clearly. We're going to come down maybe 80 millimeters from the top of our page. Now, if you don't have masking tape at home, you can just use normal sellotape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sellotape on the sides like that corner and this corner here, just to keep it down on the page. Now, what we have is, we have no T-square. So what we'll do here is, when we have no T-square, I'm going to measure down a measurement from the left hand side, I'm going to measure down a measurement from the right hand side, and I'm going to draw my line across the page. That way you know it's going to be parallel to the top and it's going to be parallel to the bottom. I've already said that the height of the object is 75, so you will have to come down more than 75. So I'm going to come down 90, just to give a bit of space. I'll make a dot on the left hand side, and I'll come over here and I'll come down 90 millimeters, and I'll make a dot on the right hand side. That line there is the most important line on your page. Two of the drawings are going to be on that line. So what we're going to have is, we're going to have our front elevation here on top, our plan directly underneath, and because we're looking at B from the left hand side, we'll be drawing it on the right hand side. Now, the first thing we have there is again, I'll go back down here like this, so you can follow this in your books. So when we look in from A, what we're going to see is the front elevation. We're going to see this letter L here, and the other face we're going to see, as well as that L, is this face here. Okay, so we have this face and we have this face here, the L. So the width of that is 75, and it goes up 75. So from this point here to this point here is 75, says it there, and from this point here to this point here is 75, and it goes up in blocks at 25. So we'll come up 25, go straight across, come over 25, and we'll get an L. Once we have the L, we'll just do this little rectangle here then. So when I draw the front elevation, this is what I'm going to have. I've already said that it's 75 millimeters. So I'm going to make a mark here and a mark here like this. What I'm going to do is, instead of doing the lines at an angle, I'm going to use the bottom of the set square with the bottom of the page. That way I know it's straight. You can see the line is parallel to the edge. If you just do this, you'll be drawing lines at angles and it won't work. So keep the set square in line with the bottom of the page. Now, so 75 on this side here, the L, we're going to go up we're going to go up and we're going to draw a line like this. This is a construction line, so it's to be done right way, up the page like that. You'll measure up 75 millimeters from the baseline, which is here. This line here, you can always label this line on the left hand side X, on the right hand side Y. That's your XY line. So the front elevation is always drawn on the XY line. So as we set in, we'll come up with a line on this side, which is like that. And that line was to be coming up 25 millimeters. So put your ruler there, measure 25. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get my set squares and I'm going to use my sliding set squares. So this line here, and I'll draw a line here so it's parallel to it across the page. That's a light construction line. Same at the top here, we go out 25. So what you'll do is you'll get your set squares, you'll put them together, use sliding set squares. Make your construction line across here. Measure across 25. And again, get your lines parallel. That line goes down as far as there. So what shape I have so far is, and I'll go over heavy. This line here. This line here. You'll need to follow this on page 52 of your books. So if you don't have page 52 open, you'll struggle to see where I'm getting the measurements from. And this line here. So that's nearly the front elevation done. So at the moment, what I have here is, out of front elevation, I have the L part done. So the L is, I've that, and I've that done. The only other thing you're going to see when you look in from A is this rectangle here. So you come up 25 and you'll draw a line straight over to meet this line here. So what you're going to have here again is measure up from this point here, 25. Again, you can use sliding set squares. And that line there on the left hand side will also be heavy. So that now is my front elevation done. That's what I see when I stand in the position of A. That's my front elevation. So that's complete. The plan is always directly underneath the front elevation. So what you're going to do then is you're going to drop all the lines down here, down the page, like this, straight down every single line. Again, use the set square on the bottom of the page to make sure they're parallel. Straight down the page and straight down the page like this. So once you've those lines straight down your page, the next thing you're going to do is start your plan. Now, when you're drawing this, the space between them doesn't matter, it's up to you. I usually leave 20 millimeters. So from this line to the next line, I usually leave 20 millimeters. So that's up to you again. You can use 10 millimeters. So 20. And again, get your sliding set square, put it on that line, bring it down here to this line, to that point you just marked, and that's your 20 millimeters, like that. Now, the next thing we're going to do, when we're drawing the plan is looking down from on top, it's C. So we already have the 75 because that's this dimension here. So it's going to be the same on top. So the width of the object is the next thing we need to do. And the width of the object is 50 millimeters. And it's split up into two 25s. So it's 50 millimeters. So although there's a step here, and a step here, when you look down and see, you will actually see one big rectangle. When you see one big rectangle, you'll also see a line across here, a small rectangle, and a line across here, and two small rectangles. So you'll see one big rectangle, 75 by 50. You come in 25 on the right hand side, and you'll see that rectangle, and then you come in 25 on this side, and you'll see those two. So I'll show you again here what I'm doing. So once you have that point, you measure down 50 millimeters. Once you measure down 50 millimeters, you can go along and you can mark your lines again parallel. So put your sliding set square and go along and go straight down the page like that and mark it like that. You already have brought down this line down here, and that's the face you're looking at. So this rectangle here will be heavy, one big rectangle. So what I can do is I can go over the outside of the rectangle here heavy like this, and I can go over the outside of this rectangle heavy like that. Same with this line on this side, and same with this line over here. And like I mentioned, that big rectangle, when you look down top, is that line there. So you can go over that heavy. And the last thing then we need to do is the two smaller rectangles. And because this is 50, it was 25 and 25. So this is 50, you'll measure down 25, and you'll just have your straight line going across to meet that line there. So there's your 50 here like this, and you'll make 25, and you'll make 25 on this side, and you'll just go straight across to meet your line like that. Okay, so that is the object. When you look down on top of it, okay, so I'll just point around here till you see it. When you look down on top of that object, that is what you'll see, your big rectangle and your two smaller rectangles. The next view then you need to do is the end elevation, and because this is looking from B here, it opens out on the other side. So when you look in from B here, you're going to see one rectangle, and it's 50 by 75 high. What you'll see then is you'll see a small L here, and you'll see another L here. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to measure 50. I'll show you how to bring the lines across here. There's 3 different ways you can do this, and this is very important. So what you do here is you bring your lines up here and across to meet them. So all these lines from the front elevation are brought across like this, brought across there like that. So that line brought across, and that line there brought across. Okay, so once you have that brought across, you need to bring up your lines from your plan. So there's 3 different ways you can do this. You can get your 45-degree set square and put it flush on the bottom with your page like this, and you can go along and you can go 45 degrees from this point here. So if you're 20 millimeters down here, you'll be 20 millimeters across here. The other way you can do it is compass. So you can get your compass, you can put your compass on this point here, and you can go along and you can open it out as far as this point here, and you can swing it around. So I'll show you what will happen. You'll have your pointer like that. Okay, so 2 options, either 45 or your compass. Watch what happens when I use my compass on this point here. So I go along here, it's going to end up exactly the same. So it ends up exactly the same point. Once you have all these points brought over, so I have these 2 done, I also need to bring that point in the middle. So you bring that over as far as the baseline like this with your construction line. Bring it over like that. You will go along then and you'll go up at 45 degrees or use your compass, whichever you feel more comfortable with. So you get your, and you use it like this. Okay, once you have that, you'll bring your 3 lines up the page like this. Again, make sure you're using the base as your T-square. That's why I've this, not like that, straight on the bottom. So you'll bring that up there like this. You'll bring that up there like this. And you'll bring that up there like this. And what we'll end up seeing is, we said we'll see the outline heavy, so we will see this line, we will see this line here, we'll see our line on top, so that's the line there, we'll see the outside of the rectangle. Then what we're going to see is, we said we have, and I'll show you again the question. So the outline is the whole outline. So what we have here is we're going to come up 25, in 25, up 25 and across. Okay, so up 25, across 25, up 25 and across. So what we'll see here now at this point here is, so it's up 25, in 25, which is this line here. That's why it's very important to bring this line across, because they are the same line. All these lines, the height here and the height here is the same, because when you're looking in the front of it and you're looking the side of it, it's the same object, so the heights have to be the same. That's why the three drawings are linked. You come up here like this, and that point there, when you come up, is that line going across there, and you go along and you bring that line across there. Okay, so this here is called, and you don't have to do this, you don't have to label this. This is our front elevation. Here is the front elevation. This is our plan, which is always directly underneath the front elevation, and this is our end elevation. And those three views make up that object. So the first thing you need to work out is the height of the object is 75. So you come down from the top of the page 90 millimeters and you draw your line across here parallel to the page, so 90 and 90. The length of the shape is 75, so you'll make a mark 75, 75. The height is 75, so you do a line up the page 75 parallel to the side. When you do the outside of the shape, you do all your construction lines. You come across 25 for the L, you come up 25 and you do your line to meet it. Once you have this L done, you just do the rectangle in the middle. When you have the front elevation done, you bring every single line straight down the page. The space between them don't matter. Some people use 10, some use 15, some use 20. I've used 20 here. This line is parallel to here. The next big thing you need to work out is the thickness of it. So we looked at our question and it was 50 wide, 2 blocks of 25. So you go 50 wide and you see one big rectangle. We brought this line, this face here, line down. So this line is from up here. And then we went along and we measured 25 and that was our line going across. When you have your plan done, you project all your lines from your front elevation across. You project all your lines up. You either do two options. You either go 45, so the bottom of the page, bottom of the T-square, 45, 45, 45, or you use the compass from this point here. So I'll make just in case you are using the compass. If you are using the compass, you will be doing it from that point there. You'll be swinging there and you'll be swinging here. Once you have all your lines brought over, you bring them up and you bring your lines across and you get your outline, your shape. And then you have your construction lines, you fill in what you see heavy. Okay, so I'll just show again. This is the question here. Okay, it's on page 52 in your books. I would like everyone to attempt this question and hand it in to me, a picture of it to me by next Tuesday, please. I'll put assignment link underneath and you can hand it in by next Tuesday. I want everyone to attempt it. Okay, you should